Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's been a couple months and a few things have changed. That 90 I showed off in my last video is now set up and running. I'm going to kind of run down the stocking, equipment I've got, some of the plants. I'm going to give you a general overview of what I did to get this up and running. First off, I've got a new camera, so I hope you guys can see that. There's a real change in quality for you. But substrate. Got Eco-Complete. I had a bag, some extra lying around, some Seacham fluorite, and then a whole bunch of pool filter sand. I've actually got dirt in both corners. Sifted it through, I don't know, some filter to get out all of the bark and junk and just put like the powder in the corners. Then got these rocks from a local creek, some land the family owns, hauled them about a quarter of a mile, hauled a ton of other rock back, probably hauled about 200 or 300 pounds back, and this is what I put in here. These are pretty big suckers though. I don't know if it really shows in the video, but they are not light. In terms of plants, I've got anything from Dwarf Baby Tears to Monte Carlo to Jungle Val. That's actually weeping moss right there. I'm trying to grow it up onto the rocks. You can see it's just starting to stick. I've got Luidia Big Red. I've got a couple other different types of mosses. Tala. I've got a number of different types of plants in here. I transferred everything from my old tanks in here. I didn't want to lose any of it, even if I didn't want it to be part of the aquascape. I just kind of hid it in different points because why not maintain it in case I want to use it in a future build. In terms of stocking, I've got my Cardinal Reds, Wildcats. They're gorgeous. They came from the last tank. The Siamese Algae Eater, wherever he ran off to, is from the old tank. I've got, there he is. Then I've got a number of Corridoras in here, a couple different varieties. I think I'm up to 16 now in total. They love to swim together, but they are scattered all over the place right now. And then I've got my red lizard pleco in there, hiding like a boss. And he's getting huge. He's about doubled since I put him in here. He's gonna get much, much bigger though. I've got, I don't know if you can see him, but back there in that crevice, I'll try to zoom in for you. I've got a vampire shrimp. He is a scaredy cat, and he doesn't like to come out. Yeah, that's him being brave, actually. And then I've got 3 Hillstream loaches in here. They all look slightly different. They're juvenile, so they're still growing as well. I've got 4 mono shrimps, 2 Nerite snails, and I'm going to be putting a number of Blue Dreams and Crystal Reds in here. They are breeding in a separate tank for the time being. I didn't want to risk losing them to the Cardinals. Since at times they've been known to go after shrimp. Depends on your luck. I didn't want to risk it. In terms of my setup, obviously got a power head up here. Drop checker, nothing too fancy. And then I've got, as you can see, a canister filter, which I'll show off in a second. And I've got 2 lights. I've got the Phoenix 24/7 and the Fluval Planet 2.0. Fresh and Planted 2.0. I only run the Fresh and Planted for 6 hours a day, and I run this 24/7. I just frankly don't need to run this any longer than that. I ran it at 8 at one point, had some minor algae issues, and then toned it back down to 6, and as you can see, I haven't done any maintenance on this tank in 4 days. I know that's not a long time, but it's spotless. If I go 2 weeks, then I have got some algae to clean up the glass, but not much more than that. Yes, I could run it higher. Yes, I could get my plants a little bit thicker, and I might even consider it, because you can see I've got the Lugudia dying back a little bit down there, but I don't really need to run it much higher than it is. And other gear. One of my dreams, one of my requirements for this setup was I wanted to have all my equipment actually hidden, and I wanted to have real CO2. That wasn't an if, and, or but. I needed it. I was tired of running DIY, so I've got a regulator, got a 10-pound tank, and a reactor, I'm still not sure how I feel about it. I like it better than many of the other options, but I think I might have spent a little bit more money on it. If I were to do it again, buy a higher quality one. How about one of the Chinese ones? Yada yada. Canister filter, love this thing. It's so much quieter than hang on the backs. I knew that. All I've ever had in my life is hang on the backs and sponge filters. Frankly, with it being in the living room, I am so glad it's quiet now. Got all my electrical hidden over here. I've got 2 timers, one for the CO2, one for the flue ball. They run on the same time schedule. And then I've got a separate one here so I can turn on and off the canister filter and the power head at the same time, so I can do water changes. Wonderful. And I ran out of space, so it was just convenient. Got all my stuff hung in here. And then, you know, all the crap you need. But yeah, this is the basic setup. Absolutely in love with it. Got a lot I want to do with it in the future. I really want to get the shrimp down here. I want to have the crystal reds in here. I want to have the blue dreams. And I want to see the aquascapes change. I'm really excited to see the crinum grow. I actually cut it down to about 1/3 of its size before I put it in here. I saw a lot of algae on it before I moved it over, and I wanted to get rid of that prior to putting it in this tank. And I want to see it grow out and get absolutely huge. And then I want to kind of fill in between the rocks here. And I want to figure out what I want to do over here on this side. I like how it's turning out, but I'm still not entirely sure what I want to do with it in the long run. So I've got some plans, I've got some ideas. I'll post that in the coming months. So, well, thanks again, everybody. Have a good one.